get a podium finish for Roger in his backyard here in Detroit?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough day yesterday, finishing 18th. Just kind of took a risk on strategy, but yeah, really happy to finish third. Helps me in the points. It's obviously Roger's home race and Chevrolet's home race, so to have a 2-3, obviously didn't get the win, but very strong showing. So yeah, it was a good, very good day. I mean, it's the most I felt we could get out of the day starting where we started.
A little bit of drama towards the end of the race with the red flag that produced that late restart. What were your thoughts and strategy going into the beginning of the last few laps? It
was, yeah, I mean, I was thinking about, how I could, hoping the two guys in front would race pretty hard, giving me an opportunity, and also I wanted to keep my third. I needed good points. I didn't want to get in an incident, so I was kind of keeping that in mind, and really didn't get a good enough exit out of 2 on that restart to have a go at Josef. So, there's not much you could do. It was actually higher grip than I thought. Normally when it goes yellow, the tires pick up a lot of marbles off the track, and it's slippery, but it wasn't bad. So that's all we could do.
Questions for Will. Greg?
Will, how much of this is just the horsepower at this point with Chevy and Honda, or am I way off base on that?
Yeah, there is definitely, Honda does have good power right now. Obviously not good reliability. The Chevys have very good reliability, but it's Chevy and Ilmore are very good at reacting, and as we go along here and get, it's tough to react straight away because they're already building engines for the next. You got to do 2,500 miles, or the next iteration's already done. So yeah, it's more of an off-season project, but yeah, Honda has definitely found something, but it's not reliable. Which they've had so many failures. It's more than 15 engines, I think.
Casey. Yeah, thank you.
Will, you look at the late caution coming from third back. What did you think you had a shot at the win, and did you think that you can get Graham?
Yeah, I did if Graham and Josef fought a little bit, but they didn't. Graham got a good start, and I was kind of close to Josef, but he's a teammate, so you don't want to take a risk. But yeah, I also wanted to finish. I needed to finish to keep get some good points and a good finish. So that's all I could do. No problem.
Other questions for Will. Tony.
Will, you had the last pit spot for the last pit stop to get Sato. How close was that, and what was kind of the process in making sure you got Sato on that one?
It was definitely important to get him because we were quicker than he was. He seemed to be struggling a little bit. And yeah, it was an interesting, I don't know how close that was, but I kind of went out and did everything I could to stay ahead of him, and obviously gave me that position. But yeah, it's that first pit stall is great under yellow, not so good for outlaps because the other guys are already at 50 when they let off that button, so they get a good exit. That's the difference. So yeah, but it was good enough to get Sato.
Bruce.
Were you putting your money on your teammate on that restart, or did you think that Graham's Honda was really...
What did you think about that? Huh?
Well, I think Graham was very dominant, so I didn't think Josef was going to get him because Graham was so dominant.
Well.
Surprise. No, but, yeah, I mean, I was hoping that Josef and Graham would fight, and have a bit of a battle and get me in, not out of the car, but in the car. As you've seen, if you've seen on my Instagram, Josef probably can't fight very well. Sorry, man, I'm just joking. He can. I just got I Instagrammed something a few months ago. It was a really bad video of Josef, and he got a bit of grief for it, but it's not true. He was just joking around. He can fight. Like, he beat me up good the other day.
Does this work? Oh, it works. It's on. Hello. Test. Good to be here.
This is what
you
we put up with
This is pretty much our
engineering
our
office.
hauler talk. This is what happens inside the Team Penske trailers. Just this all day.
Josef brought that to the team, so.
I think it was worse when Montoya was here.
Well, Juan, he was just never there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, I'm inclined to let Will Power introduce you, but I'll go ahead and read a few notes. This is Josef Newgarden's best finish. This is Josef Newgarden's best finish here on the streets of Detroit. His 13th podium in his IndyCar career, and now moves him to 5th in the championship points lead. So, Josef, take us through especially that last restart and your strategy and your thoughts on if you were going to be able to catch Graham leading into the end of the race.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think we were going to really do anything, to be honest. I didn't feel optimistic that I would have been able to get Graham, and I didn't feel too concerned about Power behind me. It's just was kind of the reality of the situation that we had so much pickup on the tires, everybody did, that I think it was a matter of surviving. I was hoping Graham was going to make a big mistake because then I would try and capitalize, but I couldn't pull anything too risky because I just didn't have any grip in the tires. It's just that's what happens when you run a full stint on them, and then you cool them down with a caution and you pick up some marbles, and then when you stop and they cool down even further, then you kind of solidify the marbles into the tires. So it's pretty difficult getting them clean on that restart. We would have needed 3-4 laps before they were really up and running again. So I think it was a matter of surviving, trying to capitalize if he did something silly and made a mistake. But other than that, it was just trying to hold on to P2 and the good podium result that we had for today.
You were able to work yourself up to a second place finish, though. Take us through your day in general and the strategy you and your team chose to move yourself up onto the podium.
Yeah, it was a good day. I mean, similar to yesterday, I think we had a winning car. We started too far back. It really comes down to qualifying on the number 2 car, which I attribute a lot to my own fault. I had a better lap this morning, and I messed up on the final lap. We had some trouble getting up to speed before that with some other things going on, but it's just if we could have qualified in the top 5, I think we would have had a better opportunity to maybe race Graham better. We just start too far back. But we had a great car all weekend. I mean, the team did a great job. We weren't really missing anything at all from a strategy or pit stop standpoint or a race car. It was all there. We just started too far back, and so that's all we really needed to work on. I think I'm going to work on that personally next time, but. It was tough not missing out on the victory. It's great being here in Detroit. We got such great support, and obviously it's our hometown here with Team Penske and also with Chevrolet. So I was really working hard for that Chevy victory on race 2, but it was just a little too far away. So unfortunate.
Questions for Josef and Will, starting with Tony.
Josef, there was a little bit of banter, it seemed like, yesterday between Graham, you, and Will at the autograph session. He said something yesterday about you said he was going to dominate, and then he did, and he said he got in your head a little bit. So we heard his side of the story, but what say you?
He said that?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, we were just joking around. Look, hey.
But clearly he did get in his head.
Graham's? Yeah, I don't know.
No,
in mine? Oh, I was already starting far
joking.
back anyway, so. It was, no, I mean, look, here's what I'll say. Graham did a great job this weekend, right? They had a phenomenal run. Also his team. Obviously, they did a great job, and there was no hiccups. So kudos to those guys. They deserved the 2 victories. They did everything they needed to do. I think for us, the only way we would have been closer to those guys is qualifying better. So, yeah, that's all I would say. Those guys did a great job, so congrats to them and the entire group.
When you do have a dominant weekend, like say you did at Iowa last year, how rare is that, and how satisfying is that feeling?
It's the best thing you can do in racing. You feel great about it. When you feel like you're just better than everybody, and no one had anything for you. We had a weekend like that in Iowa, but they don't come around very often. So when you see them in front of you, you try and capitalize on them as best you can. So it's a fun feeling when you get one of those that's come your way.
Bruce and then Casey.
During those 18 minutes you were sitting in the car during the red flag, did you think to yourself, I've got him right where I want him?
Honestly, no. I mean, if he would have done something stupid, then I'd have been like, I have you. But he didn't do anything bad. There was, like I said, it was going to be difficult to do anything on that restart. I mean, Power had twice as much push to pass than I did, and he couldn't really do much with me just because, there's 2 laps to go. There's so much pickup on the tires. You're just trying to hold on to the thing at that point. So we just kind of stayed single file. There wasn't much to do. But I was looking for a mistake. That's the one thing I was looking for, was for him to mess up, and then I'd capitalize. But it just didn't present itself.